Okay, right. So today we'll see right how to connect our Selenium application with a database, right? So till now, right, we are executing right like test cases through front end, right? So now suppose right if your data we were keeping in Excel sheet, or like we are keeping data provider, or we are kept in parameters, right? Even we tried with the scenario outline also, right? So like suppose right, if the data, if you want to connect our data is in our database. If we want to connect from database, take values from database and pass to a script, right? That how we can do that. That is what we are going to see now. Okay. First, what we'll do is we'll go to the MySQL workbench. Okay. So this you should install the MySQL workbench. Okay, and you should create a username and password, and you should make sure that you are creating one like an ID, right? So you should create a MySQL workbench. You should log in, and you should keep go to this tab, right? Then first thing you all right, we all know that how to create a database. So first, what we'll do is we should create a database. Already we have created a database. Okay, now first we are going to create a table now. Okay, so already we created, if you see the observe the left side, there is a database name sample. So we'll give use sample. Can you type use sample? Use space sample and colon, right? Then we'll run this one. Can you run this one? Okay, now it got active, right? Now we'll create a small table. Just we are just going to log in and see from the database. That's it. So we'll create a table name, right? Some table name, and we'll give it a table name, right? Login something, right? We can give a table name like login, and we'll create two columns here. One is the username, and next one is a password column. Okay. So can you create two columns with the data type varchar, username, and varchar. I can give the size also 255 in bracket, right? Comma. Next one is a password. Okay. Now semicolon. Can you run this query now? Okay. Now if you observe, right, the table is created now. Okay. Now we'll insert some two values here. Right. So for this table, insert into table login values. No, we will give directly, but no need of course. Okay, fine. Give it username. Okay, comma, right, password, bracket, values, right? Give some two value, right? First is a valid login, admin, right? Given single quotes, right? Admin. Okay. Now we'll give a password. Okay. Admin 123. Okay. Right. Yeah. We'll run this one. Okay, now we inserted one value, right? If you want, we can give a negative value also, right? Okay, we'll just give a small negative value, change a little bit of username, something will change it. Yeah, admin 123, we'll insert this value also. Okay, now we'll select and see. All right, we inserted values here. We'll select the value and see. Select star from login. Right. Okay, now we'll run this code. Okay, so it's working now. So we created one database. All right, we created a table and inserted values, and it's driving. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll take the values from this database, connect our write a Selenium script with this database, take the values from this database, and we'll connect and see how it goes, right? So, okay, now what we'll do is we'll go to the Eclipse now. Okay, so already we created one simple Maven project. Okay, deep readers. If you see the screen, you have a simple left side near package explorer. You can see a project name, database test. You can see our previous videos where we have created a number of times the base class, Selenium reusable class, right? So we have created okay, like right. Then if you go to the pom.xml, can you go to the pom.xml? So we added only the three dependencies. We are just doing a simple code, right? So we added three dependencies. One is Selenium Java. Next one is Web Driver Manager for that drivers, right? The Chrome driver and the Firefox driver. Next is we are going to connect with the MySQL workbench, right? For that we added one driver, right? MySQL connector Java. This driver we added for this connectivity of your JDBC. So we added the three dependencies and we updated the project. Okay, we updated the Maven project. So this is our com.xml. Next, and after that we went to SRC main Java. We created three packages. One is a base class. Next one is a Selenium reusable functions, and next one is your utilities. Can we go to the library class? Can we go to the library class? So this is our library class. We have a number of times. You can go and visit our previous videos where we have executed this library class. This library class is nothing but our launch app code. Okay, so launch app code. If I want to launch into Firefox, right? We have used which case here. So if I want to launch the Chrome browser or a Firefox browser or an IE browser, right, or an like headless browser, right? So I went the case here in the different browsers launching, and I've used WebDriver Manager so that it downloads the latest jars from the repository, right? So I've added this, and I've added the config property file also where I pass the values in the property file, not in the script. Okay. So I have added say config configuration dot properties. Can you go and expand, open that config dot property? Okay, so I've added this config property where I pass the values in this property file. Okay, so I given the browser equal to Chrome and which URL I'm going to automate. I gave that, and I gave that login username and password here. Okay, for that application which I'm going to write automate, and I've given some URLs. We'll come back. Will come back to this one. Okay, so these are the property files which I gave. This path I gave in the library class. So this path I gave in the library class. Can we go to the library class again? So this path, can you go? Can we go? Okay, so this path I gave in the library class by using the file input stream, right? The file input stream class I given. I created one right reference in file input stream, and I given the path of the config property here in this library class. Okay, so this I've done. Okay, and I've done that log4j also, right? So the log4j for in our script, right? Can you log4j that property also we're using the property config, right? And the configure method I given the log4j property path also here. So this is the basic browser setup code which we all know. Okay. So then I've given the property, right? The browser is right reference you are using and the URL and properties dot get property browser will get the property is from the config.property. Okay, so we are given browser equal to Chrome, right? And URL equal to that orange HRM application URL we are given. So with this, it will take and store it in a URL and it will give in the right in this right switch case. It will give it. Okay, so this is how we have framed the structure of the library class. Then we go to the Selenium or utility function. Utility class. Can we go to the utility class? Okay. This also we have written, right, we have given numerous demos. You can see our previous videos also. Right, this is our Selenium utility class where we have created a constructor and we are given that this driver, the current object we are given, okay, in that. Next, we have the some basic codes, right? Methods for the Selenium reusable, like screenshot code, right? Next one is we are given right static method for screenshot. You are given, okay. Next, we are given some title, get title. You are given explicit by drop down. See, all these things are our reusable functions in our Selenium. Okay, so this we all know, right? So this reusable methods will be there in your utility class. Now we'll come to our database part, okay, where we have a form.utilities, where we have our DB connector. Can you open that DB connector? So this is the actual code which we are going to do now, right? So now what I did is I'm just passing the URL in the config.property. Okay, so I am passing the URL in the config.property. Okay. Okay, now we have this driver connector class, right, where it extends a library class of our SRC main Java, right. Then we created a method get credentials from DB. So we are created one method get credentials from DB, where we are passing four things here. One is a DB URL, next one is a username, next one is a password, and the what query we are going to execute. So we kept this in the property file. If you notice, right, properties dot get property DBURL. Can we go to the DBURL where we are given our driver, JDBC driver we are given, and the MySQL, right, the what is the right database which you are going to use, and the local host, right, the local host of your machine, and the port number 3305 and the database, right, and the assistant, right? That this is the URL we are giving in the config.property, and the username and password of your database. Okay, the username and password of your database. Okay, so this we are giving here. Next one is your DB query. Okay, DB query means what query we want to run. Select username, password from. Can we change the table name? We have created login now, right? So we'll change it to login now. Okay, so we'll change this query. This is what we created now, right? In the MySQL workbench. So this is the query which you are going to run now. So we'll go to the database DB connector now. Again, go back to the DB connector. Okay, so we are given these four things. Then we are starting a connection, right, and the result state and the statement. Okay, now we have already created one class for the getter and setter, right, for getting username and password. Can we go to the user.java next class, right? So we have created strings, right, username and password, and we have generated getter and setter method, right? So get username, set username, get password, right, and the set password. So gets username and returns it, okay, and sets gets the password and returns it, and it sets the username and sets the password, right. So we can generate this methods, right. So we kept this getter and setter method in a separate class, so that it makes easy understandable, right. Next, this method we are given in a class called username. Now we'll go to the DB connector, right. Now, so we created one reference user equal to new user. So with the help of that user class. Next, we are used try catch here, right. Try class for name, right. This used to load the class, right, the JDBC driver, right, in the com.mysql cj.jdbc. It's used to load the driver here. Okay. Next, we are creating a connection with the help of a driver manager dot get connection method. Okay, so driver manager get connection method, and we are passing the arguments here. One is a DB URL, next one is a username, and next one is a password. Okay, so we are passing the URL, username, and password inside the connection method, get connection method. Okay, so we are creating one connection. Next one is we are creating with the help of the con reference con dot create statement method. You are just creating a statement here. Okay, so what is a statement? Statement dot execute query. The query is a query which we gave in the config dot property. Config, right? Select username, password for login. This is what we are given in the the MySQL workbench. So same query we are going to run here and you are to going to fetch the data from the database. So this is what we are going to see now here. So we'll give the DB connector. Go and click it. Okay. Now we are using a while loop, right? So we are using a while loop. So right, user dot set username rs dot get string username. So it gets from the getter and setter, right? So rs dot get string username and user dot set password rs dot get string. So it iterates till it gets completed, right? So till the loop it's getting completed. So we are using this right while loop. Next one is we are using catch, right, and final, right. So finally it will it will close the result set, it will close the statement, and it will close the right connection, right, and it returns the user. So this is what we are given in our DB connector. So these are the two utility classes we have. In normal in project there will be multiple utility class like test and utility, right. We have multiple utilities, but for this project we are using only the two utilities, right. Uh, uh, we are using only the two utilities, right, DB connector and your user, right. Now we'll go to the SRC test Java. Okay, right click. Okay, we'll create a package now, right? Com.pages. This all we already saw. We just the same thing. We are just going to take from the database. That's it. Okay, so com.pages. Okay, and the same application will do the normal general application which you always do, right? The orange HRM, right? Or login page, right? We'll create one class login page. You create a login page. Okay, now we'll click finish. But now we'll extend the library class. Okay, now we'll create we'll import the package. Now we'll create a constructor and we'll give our page package here, right? Parameterized constructor, right? Public login page, web driver, e should be small letter. E should be small. No, that is fine. D should be capital letter. E W E. Okay. Now, right? We can import that. Yeah. Now, right? You give that block, right? Okay. Now I will give the our page factory here. Page factory dot. Init elements, right? The first one. Okay. Now, right? We'll give a driver this. There, there. This will come. Yeah. Sorry. Here, driver comma this. Driver comma this. Okay. Now, right. So we are right to the through the page factory. We are initializing the elements of the located one, right. So now we'll give our we'll use our at find by annotation to locate the element, right, of whatever page we are going to do. So we'll have that at find by annotation. We can import it, right. No need of no need. You give the next line. Login, yeah, good. Okay. Same thing, right? We'll do for the password and the submit button. import it. Then we'll give the ID, right? Okay, anything, any locator, anything. Okay, now we'll create a method for right. Okay, now right, we'll create a reference, right? DB connector equal to new DB connector. We'll use the class DB connector. We'll create a reference. Okay, now we'll use the class user class. Okay, we'll import the package. Now we'll use the user class, user spelling mistake. User right equal to new right user details. Now we'll do one thing, right? User detail equal to connector dot get credentials from DB. Right, instead of that constructor you give, right? You take the remove that new also equal to user equal to delete it connector dot the reference dot connector dot. You will call that method which we kept in that right get credentials from DB, the first one. The first one, right? Click that, give semicolon, right? Okay. So now, right, the credentials are kept in the reference user, right? Now, what we'll do is we'll call all those right variables which we created, right? One is lgn give login dot, right? Send keys, right? Next, you give that reference dot get username. Within that send keys, you give user dot get username, right? The first one, the third one, yeah, good. Okay, now next, right? Pass dot send keys dot pass dot send keys. Okay, these are all the getter and setter methods, right? We kept in our user class. Okay, so now we'll give a submit button, submit dot click. So these are all the pages, right? Methods, right? Which we have in our right page. We are using the page object model and we did this one. Okay. Now we'll call these methods in our test case, right? Can we go to the test case? Create a package com.test case. test case. Instead of pages, give test case. Okay, click finish. Now what we'll do is we'll create one class login test case. Okay, click finish. Okay, now extend library class. Okay, now right, we'll create the before test and at test and after test. Now we'll call those methods, right? Good, right? Give that block, right? Okay. Now you call those methods, right? That the method from the library class browser setup. Just go and just see whether you're giving the correct exact name from the library class. Just copy that method and paste it. Go scroll up. Yeah, browser setup. Just copy and paste. Now we have the address code now. Okay. There you can give launch app. Here you can give login. Now, right, we can right call those right. We can use that pages login page and create one object. Okay, a login page. You keep it a global variable. Keep it outside. L page semicolon. Okay. Now L page equal to new imported equal to new right login page. Just copy and paste. And give the driver also. Driver inside the. Okay. Now right, use the objects and call that method. L page dot the method which you created in login page. Also method name give the login, right? Okay. Now right, you click enter, right? And now we'll create the app after test. We'll create the after test. Okay. Now right, you called everything, right? Okay, now right. So now our everything is set, right? So what we'll do is we'll run the code first. We'll see, then we'll see what happens. Okay. So we'll right click on the code, run as test and you test. Click it. Yeah. Can you go up to the console? So we are given right we'll give config dot property, and also we are not given only the folder name, but we didn't give the file name. Go the log4j dot property and give the file name also log4j dot property. So we gave only the folder name, but we didn't give the file name. That's the problem. Dot property. Okay. Now you rightly go to the test case and run again. You see. No, you are given comma instead of log4j dot. You are given dot instead of dot. It's comma dot, right? Okay, fine, good. Now we'll go there to login test case. Now the browser is launched, Chrome driver has been started. Admin, it took right. Admin used 123 password, right? So it took from the database, right? So you can see, right? So it took. They give it a thread dot sleep. You see before the driver dot close. Go to test case before the driver dot receive a thread dot sleep. 3000 seconds. 3000. Uh, just throw add close. Now you write it will just stop for 3 seconds. So what it did is it took the the values from the database, right? So you can do, right? I think we are giving, what is the credentials we gave there? Can we go for the where condition? You go for the where, right? You go to the config.property, right? You give a where, you type a where condition where, right? Username equal to admin, ADMIN, the capital, right? So now you run the code, it should work, right? It is will take the positive value. Okay, it took right, it took it, launched it, okay, then it closed. So it's working, right? So this is how it should work. Okay. So this is how we should connect the right data from the database. Okay. So this is a basic one, right? So this you can practically try to apply in the real time. So here what we did is we connected our script with the database with the help of your the MISQL connector, right? So we connected with the dependency, added the dependency, added the DB connector code, okay? So added the JDBC driver there, right? So and we kept our query in the config file, okay? So we used a while loop for iterating. So this is how we can do. Okay, so this is the basic the way how to connect with your database and your script. Okay. So thank you. We'll see in the next tutorial.